And we're learning Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker is gearing up for 2016 presidential run, outlining his foreign policy plan during the Conservative Political Action Conference. One America's D.C. contributor David Brody spoke with Walker and has our report.
There are a lot of storylines here at CPAC, but there is one particularly that we are following very closely. It has to do with Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin. He is polling well across the country when it comes to the 2016 presidential nomination. He hasn't even declared yet, but he is the talk of CPAC, along with Jeb Bush, but more on him in a moment. First, though, our interview with Governor Scott Walker as we talk about those potential presidential aspirations. You're a straight shooter, so I'm going to ask you a straight-up question. You hear the chants, "Run, Scott, run, run, Scott." I can sing it for you. What's the reaction inside of you when you hear that?
Well, it's humbling. I mean, I appreciate the fact that people have noticed what we've done. You know, all the national media last month after that speech in Iowa said, "Oh, it was the speech." Well, the speech probably helped a little bit in terms of coverage, but I think there was a core group of people, not only in Iowa but elsewhere, who had seen over the last 4 years what we had done in Wisconsin, admired what we had done, admired not just winning 3 times in 4 years in a state that hadn't gone Republican for president since I was in high school in 1984. They admire that, but more importantly, they admire that we won the way we won. We won without caving. We won with getting almost unanimous Republican support and still had to pick up 12% of the independents to win because we talked to everyday people in a way that mattered, and we didn't just fight for them. We won for them. We won not just the ballot box, we won. And so I think there were people that we saw at CPAC that were like people we meet all across America. They are hungry for authentic leadership, that people tell them what they're going to do, straight talk, as you just said, but don't just fight for it, actually deliver on it and win. There are folks that want to label you as the front runner, or at least one of the, you haven't even announced yet, I get it, at least I read the paper, you haven't announced yet, but they want to label you a front runner. Are you comfortable with that term when you hear front runner? Well, I think in the end there are going to be a lot in the media and even some in the so-called establishment who are going to want to push us aside. What I appreciate is the fact that I think Americans, not just Republicans or conservatives, I think Americans are hungry for leadership. I think they want authentic leadership, much like we try to do every day in the Midwest, not just in Wisconsin but other states. I think they want leaders who are going to stand up and tell them where they're going to go. If I choose to get in this race for president between now and November of 2016, we will clearly lay out the areas in growth, in reform, and in safety that we will move this country forward on if I was a candidate and ultimately honored to be president. And I don't worry about what the pundits call us. I worry about what's in the best interest of the American people. That is Scott Walker here on One America News. Look, here is the bottom line with Scott Walker. He is ready to pounce if Jeb Bush falters. Look, Jeb Bush is the front runner, there's no doubt about it, when this presidential nomination gets going. Why? Because he's raising a boatload of money. But if he stumbles, as in if Jeb Bush stumbles on Common Core, on immigration, on just not being able to articulate the message, well, Scott Walker, as a governor of a state that he has won many times in recall elections, would be ready and able to potentially pounce and become the ultimate frontrunner in the GOP presidential nomination. David Brody, One America News, here at CPAC in Washington, D.C.